So I wanted to tell you guys a story that happened to me last week, right? Or last month, actually. I had a girlfriend in town. She was visiting. And it got me to thinking about all these different ways that we have like social norms. Social norms that are built right into our culture. Things that only you would know if you live in that country. If this is the first time you're ever seeing me, then you need to know I live in the Netherlands, but I come from the great state of Michigan in the U.S. of A. I've been living here for about 16 years. And I talk a lot about this in many of my videos on the channel. So I started thinking about this because of something that happened to me last month. And I kind of want to tell you like the kind of cultural norms that I had to learn when I first moved here. And I am fortunate enough to be married to a Dutch person. At the time, we were just boyfriend and girlfriend. But he never did anything to help prep me for all of these like little things. Now, I lived in France when I was younger, so I kind of knew this one thing where people kiss cheeks. I know there's somebody in the audience who knows what I'm talking about. But and also in France, that's different in any region that you go to. So you have to kind of understand. You have to have an insider telling you how to do it, right? I'm just going to check down. Is everything going good? Oh, Clarissa, yay, thanks for being here. So when you don't have the insider, right, you're kind of on your own, which is kind of what he kept doing to me, my husband. So the kissing thing, I'll never forget it. The one day he played hockey. And we were wrapping up, and some of his team members, they were doing the cheeks kiss. Now, the Dutch do it totally different than the French. I soon came to find out. So everybody's making their rounds, doing the kisses, and I come up to one guy. I didn't know him very much, but everybody else was kissing, so I was like, all right, I guess I should kiss. Give him 2 kisses, and his face went like this. And then my husband started laughing. And that's when I knew I did something wrong, which is 90% of how I get educated in the first place is when I've done something wrong or made a mistake, right? So later, we unpacked that, and he told me, oh, you only kiss people that you really know. And still, to this day, 16 years later, I still don't know who do I kiss, who do I not kiss. As an American, we don't really have a social norm around this. I usually just ask, are you a handshaker, are you a hugger, or are you just a waver? I mean, we're really funny about our space to begin with. There's another one that he didn't prepare me for. I'll never forget it. I was fresh off the boat, right? I knew nothing about this. And it was a birthday party. We're in the birthday party, and as we come in, he's ahead of me. People are shaking hands and saying this word, which starts with a G. And Dutch people, if you hear, you know what I mean. It's that sound, which at this point I knew absolutely no Dutch except for how to say my name and hi. So I just assumed they were, greeting me like the kisses, but it did seem a little different, and there was no way I was going to say that word. So I just said, hoi, ik ben Susan. Hi, I'm Susan. And about the 5th person, just like that hockey guy, they're like, all right, and got away from me. And I was like, I'm definitely doing something wrong now. So I go and find my husband because I stopped greeting people because I was like, what is this? And before I finished, he started laughing. I think he even had like a spray thing. It went everywhere. Him and his friend were laughing out there on the balcony. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? I don't understand this. Guys, when you go to a birthday party in Holland, people are saying congratulations to each other. I don't know this guy. Why are we saying congratulations? They didn't have time to explain that to me. It's just something you do. And by the time you get to the birthday girl or boy or the mother or the father or any family member, you say, congratulations on so-and-so's birthday. So these are social norms that I had to learn the hard way. But there are some universal norms that I feel like everybody knows, right? We have these places that we go to that we know how to behave. I'm just checking in here, right? Oh, goodness, the Dutch birthday parties, right, Nicolene? Representing the Dutch. So these universal spaces can be like when you go to the store, you go to the cash register and you check out, right? That's a universal norm. What about being in an airport? We know to queue in the lines and get ready to, take off our stuff when we get to the conveyor belt of hell, the security. Those are things we kind of have as a universal global family, if you will, know to do. And then there's this other place, and I'm bringing it back to what happened last month. The bathroom. We have universal rules there too. But before I tell that story, for anybody in the audience who sees this, they might not be aware of the different bathroom styles. And I'm not just talking men, women, or non-gendered. I'm talking about how they're constructed. In the U.S., we have stalls, so you can see people's feet, and they have a little twist thing to close the door. Here in Europe, which I find so fantastic, you get your own little room, right? You get a door, you get a lock, you get your little privacy. You can bring in a newspaper if you feel like it, if you can find one.